Welcome, I'm Priya Jyoti Khatru coming to you from ITV Gold Studio in New Jersey. And today we are starting a new weekly show, The American Dream, Real Estate 101, where it's going to be all about real estate. You know, home prices across the US are surging, and for most Americans, it's a distant dream. Here on The American Dream, Real Estate 101, we will be getting answers from the experts. Well, I'm very excited to have with me Alka Aneja of On Track Realty, who has been doing real estate for 27 years, going on to 28 years. She is an award-winning salesperson. She is also the president of Humbled by Your Service, a charity formed during COVID. Last but not least, she also hosts Soul Talks with Alka on YouTube. She's here to give you insights into the world of real estate. And also, I have with me Ruma Majumdar, who is the founder and principal attorney of Key Esquire, law office of Ruma Majumdar. Ruma is no stranger to real estate and has grown up within the industry from a young age. Upon graduating law school in 2017, she began practicing in real estate matters in New York and New Jersey. She recently decided to start her own law practice where she focuses on both residential and commercial transactions. Ruma specializes in residential real estate and is here to give you insight into the legal side of home buying. So let me welcome both of them. Welcome Alka and Ruma to the American Dream Real Estate 101.
Thank you, Pia. Thank you so much.
So tell me, how are you guys feeling? You know, it's a nice feeling having a new show. And what should our viewers expect from it?
We're excited. This is real estate is, of course, like you said, the American dream. Everybody always wants to know, should I buy a home? Is this the right time? Mm-hmm. And when we first come here, everybody's dream is to buy a home. That's what all Desi people want to do. We don't want to rent. That's not our lifelong ambition. We want to buy. And we're here to tell you everything you'll need to know for buying a home.
What about you?
And I echo all of that sentiment. I'm in that generation now, newly married, looking to buy a home. So, you know, I'm in the midst of what this crazy market is. And as a legal attorney, real estate attorney, I feel like I have an edge up in just being able to see how the market's going and know what the pitfalls are.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And you know, with right now the stock market on downswing, what do you say? Is it like a buyer's market or a seller's market?
So it's never about the stock market. Stock market is a totally different asset. Real estate is a totally different asset. You don't buy a home based on the stock market. You buy a home based on your need. Mm-hmm. If you're renting and you have overgrown the space, you buy regardless of the stock market, right? So your price range may change, what you're looking for may change, but your desire for a home doesn't change. So again, people who are in the market, the stock market doesn't help. Obviously, you may be able to afford a $800,000 home, and now you can afford a $600,000 home. So that may change, but you should, if it's between renting and buying will always be better. Just you can adjust what you're buying. That's all.
And I'd say as far as the stock market is concerned, I think what impacts your ability to buy a home is basically how liquid you are, right? So you want to look at your financials, and especially if you just got involved in the stock market, you know, you're probably trying to keep your money there for 5 to 10 years. So in that sense, that's where the stock market play probably comes in.
Yeah, it's a long-term. Both are long-term investments. You can't look at them short-term.
Absolutely. And I feel, you know, with this real estate prices, we have seen they have become like, there's an amazing appreciation. Yes. Of real estate prices. So tell me, you know, did we really hit the real estate bubble?
You know, if we could tell you that answer, we would write a book and then we wouldn't need to do a show, because it's just, that's how it is. There's no answer. The market is so dynamic. Mm-hmm. It goes up. We don't know. When I bought my home in 2006, I closed in July and the market crashed in August. So can anyone time the market? Nobody can time the market. You make the decision again based on what you're looking for, based on what your needs are, based on what you need to do is the right time to buy. Now, what you can do within that market, of course, that's what we're going to be discussing with you. But your decision to buy is completely yours.
Ruma, you want to add your few cents to it?
Yeah, I would say I'm in the market right now trying to find a home, and I will say inventory is so short, and trying to find your quality home is a little bit difficult right now. But, you know, you have to think about what your needs are, as Ilka mentioned, and see if it's the right time to buy for you, and really just look at your financials and see if it makes sense. I know when my family bought a home back in 2005, it took until last year for it to appreciate back to the price at which they purchased it.
Yeah.
So these are things that you have to keep in mind and understand it is a long-term investment where your money is going to be tied up for quite a bit.
Yep.
So, you know, basically it looks like it's a fierce market out there. So how are you guys? What are your tips for the buyers and sellers out there?
I think that's the number one question everyone has, right? Is this the right time? If I'm going to buy, what are my strengths? If you're going to buy, you need to know what you are looking for. How much can you afford? First, you need this. So there's a whole team of people that are there to help you. A lot of people want to venture on their own to do it, but this is not the time to venture this market. So you need the right real estate agent. You need the right mortgage rep. You need the right attorney, because any step of this transaction, you need the right inspector. If you don't have these things, you're not going to be able to close. You need to start making sure that you're going to have every step of the way you're chalked out. So if you're entering this fierce market, you first need to know where you're going to be, how much you want to offer, what work do you need to get done, what is your cost after you're buying. Emotionally, you can't be buying it in an emotionally heightened state. You know, a lot of times it happens, it's like, there's 12 offers, oh my God, what am I going to do? And you know, there's like this thing that's happening, but you can't get into that frenzy unless you know that's the house you want to buy. So you need a realtor that's on your side to say, do this, it's the right time to do it. Or, you know what, this house is overpriced and it's just not making any sense, and back off. And that's okay to do as well. So don't rush to buy every home that you see.
You know, Alka, you're talking about homes, and I know a lot of people, they are planning to buy new homes, while as they put their old house in the market, and the market is, you know, the house is sold.
Yeah.
And do you advise that people should do that, or let them wait first, let them get a house of their choice first, and then they should, you know, sell the house?
You know, the answer, I sound like a politician and I'm not, but the answer to that is it depends, right? Mm-hmm. If they need to sell to buy, then they absolutely need to sell that home, figure out where they're going to go temporarily, and then do that. If they don't need to sell to buy, then they need to find their right home first, then sell the one that they have. So it depends on what your financial situation is. It depends on what your family situation is. A situation is. Your home selling is not a problem. Finding a home is a problem. But your liquidity may be a problem. So अपने हालात को देखो और उसके हिसाब से फिर करो. It all depends.
I think बहुत ही सही कहा कि अपने हालात को देखो. That is the key these days.
Absolutely.
You have to see that. So, you know, Ruma, I know you are an attorney, and attorney plays a big part in real estate. So tell us, how do you advise your clients?
So I always get my clients once their offer has been accepted. And that's very exciting for them. And, you know, especially in this market, they've probably put in 12 offers that have all been rejected. And they finally come to me after they've waived all of their contingencies, including an appraisal sometimes, you know, including inspections sometimes. And so when they come to me, I just make sure that they understand legally what that means.
That's right.
Which means, you know, it's important for you to know that, yes, you went through the walkthrough a few times, you saw the home a couple of times, but you never know what's inside the home, and only your home inspector is going to be able to do that for you. So if you're waiving it, just be sure that you're okay with knowing if something big comes up after you purchase the home,
right,
that you have a budget.
Absolutely.
In order to rectify anything that may come up. Same thing with appraisal waivers, right? Mm-hmm. You're looking for financing and your lender is only going to lend you up to what the fair market value of this home is. So you want to make sure that you are financially sound. If you need to come up with the extra cash because your house under appraises, do you have that? You know? And so I think the biggest thing that I always tell my clients, and, you know, after we finish a transaction and they're going to go live in their home and, you know, eventually they'll sell and whatnot, I'm like, always make sure you do your financial analysis with either your mortgage rep or with your realtor. Absolutely. At the start of the process. So you don't get in a situation where you're overbidding and then you have to withdraw and I have to figure out how we can do it legally so you don't lose your deposit.
Yes. Yeah, and an appraisal is an opinion of value. So 3 different appraisers can appraise 3 different values. Most of us have taken a stats class. We know how to, you know, derive numbers. And if the appraiser wants to make it work, they'll make it work. If they don't want to make it work, they won't make it work. They know your contract price. It's not like they're judging without knowing it. They know the contract price. All they have to do is make it work. based on that. So it depends on the realtor that they're working with a lot of times to make sure that the appraisals are happening. Because you need to come up with their things to say, hey, this is going to appraise or not, and why did we price it this way? Why are we offering this? Because the appraiser is working for the bank. They are not working for the buyer or the seller. So they want to make sure that the bank's protected, that the bank is not lending out money and then tomorrow they're going to be underwater. We've been there before, right? And with the stock market going down, everybody's wondering, are we good? Heading there again. Again, none of us know that, but that's the appraiser's job. So when Ruma tells you that, that's important as a consumer for you to know, because that's she's protecting you legally. And you need to have a good attorney. We can't tell you how important that is. It's so important to have a good attorney. It's so important to question them before. It's so important to talk to them before. Don't go on pricing. Don't go on, if you're buying an $800,000 home, please don't save $300 on your attorney and $200 on your inspector. Those are the last people you want to save on. Spend the money, get the best. Get somebody who's going to fight for you, because it's so, so important.
So, since you were talking about buying the high-end homes, and tell me one thing, is this the right time, for people to buy high-end homes as compared to the lower end?
It depends. It depends. So if you have already sold your lower home and you want to buy a higher end home, like Ruma said, a home is a long-term investment. It's not something that's going to happen. So let's say we are buying at the peak of the market. Everyone who's buying right now is buying at the peak of the market. If the market goes down, know that you still own your home. The market crashed after I bought my home. It, just like Ruma's parents, just came up, but I still haven't sold it. I'm still here. So the paper loss was my loss, and the paper gain is also mine, right? So it's nothing that has happened. It's all just paper money that's exchanged. So if you're going to go to a bigger home and you need that home, then it's okay to buy it now. But if you don't need it,
no, but my point is, aren't you investing too much in that home, putting a lot of money in that home, and then, right now with the market and everything else, not doing that great? So that's my point.
So again, it's when you buy a home, you don't buy thinking, what is my rate of return on it?
Okay.
When you buy your investment, that's you should buy your investment with a very logical mind.
That's what I wanted to hear from
right?
you. Yes.
But when you're buying your home, it's not a logical investment. It's an emotional investment. It's like going on vacation. You go to Holiday Inn versus Four Seasons, right? It's the rate of return on that investment is 0. It's only your happiness for 5 days. We spend $10,000 on going on vacation. But the minute we have to buy a home, we're like, what's my rate of return? What's going to happen? You're going to live there for 360 days. And during COVID, none of us have gone on vacation. So we've lived there 365 days. And we've lived there for many, many years. So when you're buying your own home, your rate of return is not what you're looking at. When you're buying your investment, your rate of return is the only thing you should look at. So 2 different ways to buy a home. But a caveat to what you're saying is, when the market goes down, the ice cream melts from the top. So your highest priced homes are going to get hurt first. So be ready for that, because that is going to happen. The ice cream melts from the top, it's gonna hurt. The lower level homes are not going to hurt as much. The upper level is going to hurt. So a lot of the times, the people who are coming in like Ruma, who are young, I'm telling them, don't buy your $1.3 million home.
Right.
Right? Buy a condo that can be an investment for you for now. Instead of paying rent, get out of that market, buy a condo or a townhome, live in here, let the market figure itself out, then use this as a rental investment, build your real estate portfolio. Again, when you go to the right realtor, they'll be able to give you all of these things, because you have to change with the market. Whatever the market is doing, you have to change with it. And you have to change with your own circumstances. Not all of us have a gazillion dollars sitting in our bank accounts,
Exactly.
So it's just, you have to be ready, be fluid, be ready, be willing to listen, and then, again, do what's best for you and your family.
And I think echoing off of that too is, when I started looking into home buying, and when I speak with my clients and we get down to closing and we look at the closing disclosure, right, we're collecting taxes. Sometimes, they're purchasing a condo, there's an HOA fee, they're prepaying. I mean, there's so many other fees that go into owning your own home that people don't account for, right? They just look at their mortgage and their interest, and then that's where they stop. But then there's taxes, and then there's your utilities, and then there's, the cost to live. And so you have to do that financial analysis and make sure that, at least you're going to break even. Like if you break even, that's the goal when you buy a home.
Yeah, and it has to be the right decision for you. So should you buy a home? It depends. Should you rent? It depends. Should you buy a bigger home? It depends.
no,
So our whole real estate show should be called It Depends.
You sound like a lawyer.
I think I'm sitting too close to it.
It's rubbing off.
I know, Alka, you give a lot of tips to people for, especially when it comes to maintaining homes and stuff like that too. So spring is here. So you want to give any tip out to all these homeowners?
So it's funny, my favorite tip is make sure your gutters are cleaned. And I'm telling you, this is such a small tip, but everybody laughs. Everybody who knows me laughs. I get my gutter in the house cleaned about twice or 3 times a year because that little $120 maintenance tip can lead you to so many hassles. So get yourself on a maintenance program. A house is like an animal. It needs to be fed. If it's not fed, it will devour you. So it's not a joke. The houses here are not made of concrete. They're made of sheetrock. Sheetrock is just paper.
I have to say that I have learned a lot of stuff, especially when it comes to homes from you. I have learned a lot of stuff.
Yeah, see, and you don't even have to clean your gutters because you're part of a townhome. So, but that's not for you. But make sure if you are part of a townhome that your association is doing it. And if they're not, you need to talk to them because when the roof leaks in most of the associations, the roof leaking is their responsibility, but the inside damage is your responsibility. So they are not going to do anything for you. They're going to say, sorry, it's up to you. So you have to be aware of those things. It's not completely maintenance free or not, you have to get involved. You're buying an asset, be involved in your asset.
Absolutely. And last minute, any advice you want to give out to, people who are into a market right now, into buying a home?
I mean, we're here for another. If you have any questions, reach out to Pia, reach out to ITV. Ask us any questions. We'll be happy, and I'm sure we'll get to. Next week, we'll talk about other subjects. Anything that we have, we are here to help. This is our way to give back to the community. So please give us a call. Let us know what you want to know about, and we'll be happy to help you.
And obviously, if you have any questions about the legal part of the home buying process, prepping your home, what you should be looking out for, what might come up in any inspection reports that you want to get ahead of, especially if you're going to put your house on the market, give us a call and send in your questions.
I would say, you just email ITV Gold if you have any questions, any suggestions, you want anything else you want us to talk about, especially them, not me, of course. You want them to talk about stuff. So you want them to say anything about anything which is a concern for you. Also, I want to remind all the viewers to follow us on Facebook handle, that is ITV Gold. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel, and you can pick up a free copy of Desi Talk if you are in the tri-state or in Chicago area for news on community entertainment and events in the US and India. And yes, I would like to thank both of you. It was really nice, and I'm looking forward that next week we'll be again here the same time, talking to you with different things. And thank you again. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Pia. Thank you for having us. Thank you.
Thank you.